I introduce Renee Liao, our trainer today. That covers Remain Mascalo, our founder. Renee Liao graduated from the University of Toronto in software engineering and worked for IBM and TELUS, and was earning $80,000 a year salary. He joined Opulence in 2007, and now he is the company's youngest millionaire, a lifestyle director who qualified for the luxury car program and drive the prepaid luxury car from the company. Prepaid luxury car from the company. And 200,000 Tesla P90D. He has reached 100,000 a month in earning, and more shockingly, with only 7,000 people in his organization. His team now has over 24,000 people in over 110 countries around the world. He is happily married after proposing to his wife, Heidi, with 47,000 Ferry Marsh 21K gold ring, now was $80,000 Canadian dollar. They have two young boys, Rex and Leon, and enjoy traveling the world with his family. He just made a recent purchase, building his custom $5 million home. He is here to support us and train us. Renee is a founding member and shareholder and sit on the company's CEO's advisory board. And he has also received the highest award in this company. In the company, the President Cup Award twice. To now welcome our youngest millionaire, Renee Liao. Welcome.
Okay, well, thank you, Han-Mei, again for that wonderful hosting. Great to be here again this evening. And as you all know, our wonderful CEO, who usually does these calls, is just on his way, travels back 3 weeks to 3 different countries, again, working on our incredible Fairy Designer product. And I'm just so excited. I did see some of the sketches, of course, on Facebook. And again, so for tonight, you're kind of stuck with me, if you want to call it that. But again, a very good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone who's on this call today. And of course, we're going to continue pretty much from where we left off the last few weeks. And I know that a few weeks back ago, again, we had talked a little bit about the importance of your why. And that was a really fun call to do together. I hope that many of you have started to make your vision board and of course your promise list. You know, what will your life look like when you have achieved financial freedom? That picture must be very clear to us, of course, before we dive into the business, right? That's going to become our why. That's going to be what we go to when things are down. And quick question for all of you here. You all know that I love to have these calls being really interactive. How many of you have ever gone through a downtime in your business? Just, you know, say I, or throw up a thumbs up on the reactions, right? How many of you have gone through downtimes in your business, right? I mean, we all have. And to think that we will ever be in a business where we'll never have that happen to us, just not realistic. And I want everyone on the call to see everyone else saying, you know what, yeah, I've been there. I've been in times where the downtime, you know, the whole day I was prospecting, the whole day I've been making calls, the whole week, 2 weeks, I've been talking to people about the product and not one single person has bought my product. That's okay. And we're here to tell you that's just part of the business. And so more importantly though, is my next question is, when you go through those down times, the most important question we got to ask tonight is, how long do you spend in that downturn place before you get back into your business again? So are you down and demotivated and you wait a week maybe to get back into your business? Do you wait a month? Do you wait a day? Do you wait a few hours, 1 hour? That's the question. And last week we talked about the different categories of people in direct sales. And I find that, again, the biggest we talked about this last week, the biggest segment of the workforce are the sometimers. And I feel that that's because the sometimers let these downtimes kind of stretch them out too long before they start taking action again in their business. Because maybe it doesn't feel good, and maybe going back to the things that you enjoy, like watching TV, playing some sports, going out to some parties, maybe that feels better, but again, it's not going to get you to your financial freedom. So the second you get into a downturn time, the question you got to ask yourself is, how long will you let yourself sit there? And I love it. Sometimes it might be half an hour. Great. Thank you, Ronan Truffaut, right? Incredible leader from, actually, he's all over the world. But yeah, it could be, a few hours before down to 30 minutes. It could be 2 to 3 hours, as Maria Baptiste says, and she plays her personal development stuff, right? And so today, I think what's really important about today's training is it's a really great way to get yourself out of that mindset. And again, I love the comments that are coming in. Guys, please keep on sharing. Amazing information there. Keep striving forward towards one's why. Time waits for no one. We have to keep on moving. You're absolutely correct. Forget about how you feel. Just get the job done. Yes, I love all of your comments, and please keep them coming in, because you know what? You're giving inspiration and enthusiasm to the people around you. So last week we left off talking again about the different categories of distributorship. And I think what's really powerful is that we all had to, and I hope you did this, you had to let yourself know, not let me know, let yourself know which of the categories are you. That's number one. And you can't lie to yourself, right? So you can't be like, I'm a part-time serious, but really you're spending 4 hours on the business every week when it's convenient, right? So knowing that, and the first step is knowing which category you were in. The next step is to decide which category do you want to be in. So really quickly, for the people on the call today, just write down really quickly, which category were you before, and which category do you want to get yourself into? Let's see some answers here. Okay, which category? We had the lotto group, the social group, we had the slave drivers, right? We had the social group, the sometimers, the part-time series, and then the full-timer group. So write down again, which group were you in? It could be a combination. You might be a little bit of the social group, a little bit of the lotto group. That's okay too. But the key thing is to be serious and be truthful, which one you are. So I see here, awesome, part-time serious. You're serious. You want to go full-time. Awesome, you're full-time serious. That's fantastic. Yes, you are, Hanmei, I can tell that. Alan, okay, part-time, yeah, awesome, guys. Just be honest with yourselves. And again, and write down what you want to be, right? So you want to go to part-time to full-time serious, amazing. Lotto group sometimer, now I'm a part-time serious sometimer. Okay, so we're going to bridge that gap, right, Carolyn, between a sometimer and a part-time serious, because there's a bit of a gap in there. We're going to work on that today as well too. Serious and social, all right? So again, there's part-time, there's part-time serious, and the main difference again between part-time and part-time serious is the part-time serious ones commit to building like and trust with their teams. They travel a lot, and more importantly, they do trainings, right? They lead by example. All right, so knowing this now, and knowing which group we want to become in, now we gotta get down to the action. We're gonna get down, get our hands, dirty, if you want to call it that, right? Get yourself into and preparation for launching into what's going to get you to your financial goals. And there are two components in the Forensic Networker to successful selling and marketing products and ideas. And these two things here, please write them down, because if you don't have these two things here, no matter what you do in this business, most likely you're going to find yourself back in that downturn again. And those two things, number one is you've got to be enthusiastic. I recall early on learning about the 3 E's of my business, you know, and those 3 E's were you gotta be excited, you gotta be enthusiastic, and you gotta have energy. But truly, really, if you can just sound enthusiastic, I mean, naturally, you can be enthusiastic without having some energy, right? And when you sound enthusiastic, you sound like you're excited. They're all really the same thing, but you've got to have that enthusiasm. So let's just do a quick checkup from the neck up. The last few times you were prospecting someone or talking to someone about your products or handing out flyers, did you sound enthusiastic? Because I remember hearing this saying before and it drilled a huge like aha into my brain was you can have two people that say exactly the same thing, the exact same script, but the results could be day and night of a difference, completely different. And the difference between these two ways of saying it comes down to your delivery. Are you enthusiastic? And there's like 3 Ds, right? Determination, you know, the drive, right? But the delivery is so important when you deliver that message in your communication. You've got to sound enthusiastic. And the second part is you can be enthusiastic and then be as, you know, as excited as possible. But if you're not prepared, then you're going to find yourself potentially at this feeling like you didn't really do too well during that prospecting. All right. So what do you guys think I mean when I say being prepared? What does that mean, being prepared? And okay, I'm ready to do a call. I'm ready to go and talk to some people. What do I mean by being ready? Let's see some answers here, team. Okay, let's see what being prepared means. Great answer there, Monica. Yeah, product knowledge is important. You gotta know a little bit about the product, right? At the very least, I think being prepared, you better know the story behind the products. You don't have to know all the crazy details and the scientific studies and all the necessary ingredients, you know, because again, you can always send that to someone later on. So, you know what, let me send you that information afterwards. Because reality is when you're prospecting, sometimes too much data can bore the conversation, right? Again, we are highly paid storytellers because stories drive emotions. Stories drive emotions. Whereas, again, the whole saying facts tell, yes, but stories sell. But stories sell. So yes, you've got to have product knowledge, at least know the story. I mean, again, just a true story. I take my kids to tennis at least almost 7 days a week right now. It's not even funny. At least 5 days a week. And of course, you know, I'm getting to know a lot of the other parents that sit and watch their kids play tennis, right? And of course, I knew that I had time and that people there might be looking forward to also socializing. So I wasn't rushing to hand out my brochures, right? Because one thing that I always do when it comes to prospecting is I separate my thought into two different situations. The first situation is one, when you don't have much time, or in other words, the person who you want to approach is not really expecting to socialize. Does that make sense, guys? Because going through a drive-through, you're paying for your bill, you're buying a pair of shoes, you're just checking out, you know, something quick, right? Quick. You're at the bus stop, taking whatever. You know that the person might not really be in the mood for socializing or doesn't have much time. The other category for me is when I know that this person is open to socializing, like being at a networking event, going to a trade show, oftentimes going to a barbecue, going to a family gathering. The people that you meet there, you know that they're looking to socialize with other people. If that makes sense, say it makes sense so far. So I make sure my Chinglish is coming across clearly, because to me, that's really important. When do you kind of drop a brochure and try to do a quick thing because you might not ever see that person again, but you want to get some information to that person versus you don't need to rush because you know you're going to see these people again, or people there are there to socialize. You can take your time. So just yesterday, literally Monday, I mean, we've been sitting beside these parents that our kids are playing at the same time. And so in Mayfair, there's like 8 courts, and there's like a higher up raised part. It's like a little lounge area, glass, sort of glass to protect balls from smacking you in the face in case a kid whacks a ball sideways. And all the parents just kind of sit facing watching their kids. But there's some tables, and there's one parent that kept sitting beside us. And, I had never mentioned, anything about what I did, because I knew that I'd see them again. And it's more important for me to build up this like and trust with these other parents, right? And finally, one of the ladies had, we've been talking to her for about, at least 9, 10 times now, mentioned again that she had, she just mentioned to me after that many conversations that she has MS, multiple sclerosis. And then when I found out, I said, I have got something for you. So, but my point though is that, I didn't rush that situation because I knew I run to them again, and I take my time building that relationship before I go into my business. Hopefully that makes sense, all right? So again, yes, being knowledgeable, at least knowing the story. And so she basically asked me, she's like, what do you do? Like, she never realized and never asked what I actually did. And as you all mostly should know, what my response is, I share the story of Fountain of Life. So I'm like, oh, well, it's actually really interesting. My company about 4.5 years ago came across an amazing scientist. And no, you guys know the whole story, right? I don't have to go through that again. But unless you want to hear it, give me a thumbs up. But that's my usual script that I give. And she got really interested. And so, okay, so I got a thumbs up. So here's what I say every single time someone asks me, what do you do? Many thumbs up here. So what I basically said to her was, yeah, so, my company about 4.5 years ago came across a brilliant scientist in Finland. And basically it's very funny because his wife was asking him to cut down this tree that was blocking the light into the kitchen. So of course the husband, cuts the tree down, yet he noticed many days later that the broken branches of this Norwegian spruce tree were still living and alive on the floor, even though it was cut off from the tree. So you know how most times, when you cut a branch off the tree, that tree branch will like wither, it'll rot, it'll just die out, right? This one, no. So he ended up grabbing the tree branch, wrapping it up, and he threw it into his freezer. So fast forward a few years later on, the wife was cleaning out the freezer and finds this, this wrapped up tree branch, and asks the husband, like, do something with this, or I'm going to throw it in the garbage. So when he opened up the tree branch, he noticed that the broken end of the branch had grown layers and sealed itself off and was still alive that many years later. And she was like, wow. Now I'm gonna pause right now and ask you guys, do you guys feel some enthusiasm there? Do you feel like I'm delivering the story with some excitement? That I'm making it sound exciting, right? I'm just telling a story. I've not said anything about any science stuff, nothing. I'm just talking about this tree and the story, right? And so I said, so basically, yeah. And what the scientists found out after a few more years of just crazy, research, was that the main sort of ingredient in this tree that made it so special is called lignans, lignans. And so I say, no, and in fact, lignans are found in all of our fruits and vegetables, seeds and drinks like coffee, tea, and beer and wine, but just very, very small amounts. And so he found that this tree had the world's most amount of lignans. And our company was the one that found a way to get it properly registered with Canada. And now we have the Health Canada approval. And that's how I told the story. So of course, number one, going back to my question about being prepared, was I prepared? At least with some decent knowledge of telling my story. Yeah. And I've said this story so many times that I don't even have to think. Remember how I talked about before, when you do something so many times that it becomes innate, meaning it's natural. You don't have to force it out. It just comes out naturally. It's innate. That's when you know that you've practiced enough in your business. And yes, thank you, Tony. Yeah, I said, I have something for you. Because I could have said, oh, I have something for you. And it doesn't sound exciting, right? So I was like, yeah, I have something for you. She's like, really? I said, yes. So then, of course, now what do you think is important also in being prepared? So we talked about this a few weeks ago in my trainings, right? There's 3 things you always want to have with you wherever you go, okay? What are those 3 things again that we always talk about? All right, let's see who has the answers for 3 things that you just cannot leave your home without. It better be in your purse, your backpack, your trunk. What are the 3 things you always got to have with you? Yes, the products. Absolutely have the products. Number 2, your testimonials. Yes. And number 3, the brochures. Absolutely. So, of course, right away, I said, actually, we have some incredible testimonials of people that had MS and using the product. And she sort of jumps in and she goes to me, well, does it cure MS? Now, of course, I said, legally speaking, with any natural health products, we can't say that it actually cures it, but let's just say that it really does help a lot. And so right away, I said, are you on Facebook? She goes, yes. I said, okay, let's add each other. And I would love for you to join this group called the Fountain of Life official page. So I was guiding her through it. She goes and joins the FOL page on Facebook. And, of course, it gets approved. And then I said, so now in the search box in there, just type in multiple sclerosis. She types it in, hits the search button, and a whack load of testimonials come out. So I said to her, well, some of these are like questions, but a lot of them are testimonials. And here's a video down below, someone that had MS, right? And so again, now in this particular case, she was a teacher, and she says, let me take a look at this information when I get home. I said, absolutely no problem. So one thing that I sensed was that when she told me that she's a teacher, she's very, very particular. I had a feeling that it wouldn't be a good idea to try to push the product and keep forcing them to buy on the moment, right? And I think it's important to know when to judge that a little bit for yourself. Like today, my wife went to one of her facial places and she got really annoyed because the person tried to sell her to buy this Christmas special, and they asked her 4 times to pay, And my wife, even before going into her appointment today, she's like, I'm really annoyed because the owner and the customer service people keep asking me to buy this package. She gets there, she goes inside, she comes out from her thing. She's like, oh my God, they asked me 4 times to buy. What do you think is happening for my wife right now? She might be thinking, I should go somewhere else if I really want to get my stuff done, right? Because there's other places you can buy this stuff. So my point is that I was like, maybe she goes to stop doing these expensive treatments. No, I'm kidding. Just go somewhere else, right? So anyhow, yeah, she should go looking somewhere else. So again, instantly, I said, by the way, do you have WhatsApp? I can send to you some more information. So boom. Again, last Sunday, just this past Sunday, we had Maria Baptiste on a leadership cocktail. Fantastic call. If you missed that episode, please go, and the recording will be out sometime soon. But if you missed that leadership cocktail, go and listen to it because Maria is sharing as well what she shares with people every single time. And so again, I sent, the same videos that Maria was talking about, right? The oxidative stress video, of course, the Fountain of Life introduction video with our CEO, and the Fountain of Life testimonials videos, as well as electronic copy of the brochure. So of course now, she's on my forensic list of people to follow up with. But that's what we're talking about being prepared. And let's be honest, right? How many of you have gone to meetings or prospecting, or just suddenly started prospecting or having a conversation with someone, and you realize you weren't prepared, right? Alan says yesterday. Thank you for that honesty, right? Yeah. And by the way, you might be able to send them links and prints, but let me ask you a question. What is more powerful, the electronic copy of the brochure or the physical copy of the brochure? Let me get some answers here. What's more effective here, team? The electronic copy of the brochure or the physical copy? Yeah, the physical copy, right? The physical copy. And so the question is, do you have hundreds, at least 500 brochures ready to go with your name at the back of it? Like, do you have this prepared? And I'm just going to show you guys. Do you guys want to see my setup at home? Do you want to see how I set my stuff up, like with my brochure? Okay. Actually, I want to talk about this tonight really quickly, which is in your home, I find that it helps a lot if you have a specific area that is for your business. So if you're trying to do the business on your couch where you watch TV, I find unless you're incredibly disciplined, to not turn on the TV, or if it's on, you don't pay attention to it. But otherwise, I highly suggest that you want to, in some place in your home, have an area that you dedicate for your business. So you know that when you go to this area, it's business. I don't know if that makes sense, because I feel like before I had a dining room table in my older houses where it was like a big table, and I'd have like my laptop, I had like poker chips. So actually I had a poker table laid out, and then I had like, poker chips on the side. I had like my laptop and like my forensic box, and I had like kid stuff. You know what I mean? It feels like it's a mix of stuff, right? And it's too easily to get distracted. So my suggestion always is try to have a separate area where, it could be just a corner in the house somewhere, right? And you're just facing the wall, right? There's nothing behind you that can distract you. And so, yeah. So again, so I'm just gonna show you all. Like, if you want to see my home office. So behind me is my laser printer, okay? And then, of course, down below, I have my forensic boxes, okay? That's my extra ones. I have one behind me there. Then on this side is where I have my products. Am I showing my camera correctly? So there's my products there, okay? I have extra bags. Can you guys see my bags there? My extra like gift bags, because I need to go and have big orders, right? If I have smaller orders as well too. And then, so here, okay, hope you guys are having fun with this. So here is my, it's bad lighting in here, but here is like my watch box whenever I go out. Am I showing this? I don't know if you can see my, but hold on, let me take off my screen protector, because my screen protector, I can't see from the sides here. All right, so I've got my watch collection. I don't want to draw my laptop here. Where's my, no. Yeah, here's my watch collection. So before I go out, I'll grab one of these babies here. And I've got a whole bunch of my tungsten rings and my 21 karat gold ring. I'll grab one of those too. Okay. And look here. So here is all of my brochures. So you can see here is my stack. Like this whole stack here is the Safe Home Revolution brochures. And you can see behind them, they're all labeled, right? And then beside it, I've got my Fairy Flawless brochures. Then beside that, I've got my toothpaste, right? Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Stop sharing my screen. Okay, 1 second. Is that better? Should I make myself a spotlight? Spotlight or, okay. Is that better now? Bigger? So really quickly again, my FOL stuff, different size bags, right? For often I got big ones, small ones, tiny ones as well too. Products there. That's ready to go with me on a trip soon. And of course, I was saying I've got my watches here. I just grabbed one of those out again in my nice fairy case here. I got all another fairy jewelry box with all my tungsten rings. I'll just grab one of those babies out there, my 21K as well too. That one's good. Anyways, I got two 21K rings. I love these from the company. And of course, all my tungsten rings here, my cufflinks. And then, yeah, it's down here, I was showing you guys. So here's my stack of the Safe Home Revolution. Okay, brochures again. You better make sure you have your information in the back, right? Beside that, I've got my Fairy Flawless ones. Beside that, I've got my toothpaste ones. Okay, and then beside that, I have the microsilver spray. Okay. And then of course, down here, I have the journals. And beside that, I'm running low, actually, you can see that, right? But again, down below, I have more, I have to label them, is my FOL brochure. So every day I grab like a stack of stuff and I have it with me wherever I go. And of course, down below, I have more to, like, I have to go and label them and file them away. But, oh, and if you wanted to see, here's some of the awards that I've received from the company, President's Cup trophy. And anyways, yeah, so hope that was fun for you all. Let me just plug in my charger again. But basically, that's what I'm talking about being prepared. And so whenever I leave my house, I always grab a bunch of stuff. I got some products, right? I got, you better have at least one of everything ready to go because you never know which one might sell, right? And again, if you sell FOL and someone's in like the Christmas mode for buying gifts, they might just buy more things from you, right? Yeah, it was kind of fun. It was fun for me too. So again, being prepared. You gotta have some knowledge, at least know how to share the story, have the tools ready. And I hope again that proves a point that between having an electronic copy of a brochure, because you know what, for your prospect, here's the thing. There's so much stuff happening in their phone, they might just forget to see your message. Does that make sense? There's too much stuff going on there. But if you give them a brochure and they have to carry it with them and they put it at their home counter, they might see it again, right? But here's the best thing. Why not do both? Why not give them both, electronic copy and a physical copy, right? So I hope, I had to go through more of this training today. We're still on the first slide, right? But I think it's important that we don't miss these things because it's so important for always, always, always being ready, right? And John says he can't wait for taking his stuff, watches, rings, and gifts to more for Thailand. Yes, John, Thailand is looking forward to having you there too. And I want to wish safe travels as well to Drusilla. I believe she'll be heading to Guyana this coming weekend. And of course, safe travels back to our CEO and SVP. I think they're already back in town. And of course, Efra, I'm not sure where you are in the world, but safe travels to you as well too. So again, but anyways, moving on here, enthusiasm, being prepared, knowing the story, having the information ready, okay? And again, right, having a proper space where you do your business, all righty? So moving first here and forward, again, in MLM, enthusiasm first. Because people don't buy products, they buy energy. And I always love saying this, before someone can buy something from you, they must buy you first. And if you don't have the right energy, enthusiasm, and you're not passionate about how this product can help them, it's not going to matter. Nothing else will matter, okay? It won't work. So have that, again, enthusiasm. The company handles all of the technical aspects, and promoters like me and you, we only need to promote the benefits, how this product can benefit them, how it can help them, all right? And again, one thing that I'm telling everyone right now is we're heading into the season of holidays, right? Christmas is coming upon us. And now's the best time to reach out to all of your previous customers and partners and say, hey, by the way, why not give the best gift you can give, which is the gift of the fountain of life, right? And now moving on here, humans communicate mostly with emotions. Does that make sense? Like your body language. So one thing I've been trying to teach my sons, Rex and Leon, like when they're on the court playing tennis, I'm like, you might not be down, but you certainly look like you're not enjoying yourself. But when we ask them, they're like, yeah, we love being here, and we're thinking about how to play better. So I'm like, that's great, but you know what? Can you just try to show a bit more energy and enthusiasm, because your coaches are looking at you, and if I was your coach, I would want to see that you're also enthusiastic when you're on the court too, right? So again, just don't forget that sometimes even without you saying one single word, your prospect can get a huge feeling of communication from you. So always make sure you're doing a checkup from the neck up, also to your toes, to make sure you have the right kind of body language, right? Last but not least, be a product of the product and own the company. What do we mean by own the company? Like being 100% in. So what do you guys think that this training, own the company, means? And let's see your responses here. What does that mean, own the company? Doesn't mean I just have to wear all the products and that's it. And suddenly if I wear all the products, I own the company. Okay, let's see some answers here. Live opulence, represent it like it's yours. Team, this is not a business that you joined. This is not a business that you're doing it for fun on the side as a hobby. This is your business. This business belongs to you. You are the company. Renee is not the company. Ramin is not the company. You are the company, because when you are talking to your prospects, you are all they know. You are the company, and own it like it's yours. If you own the company, everything that you wear will be from your company. If we manufacture a timepiece, you wear a timepiece. If you manufacture the rings, you buy the rings. If you own shoes, you buy the shoes. They have a bracelet, you wear the bracelet. They have earrings, rings, bracelet, pendants, backpack. You own, right? That's your company. You have to own it like it's yours. And again, you don't have to break the bank, and I mean, yeah, we have the 21 karat gold stuff, but I mean, you can look like $1 million with just a few $100s, right? So be a product of the product, and more importantly, treat the business like it is your own business. All right. So I hope that really makes sense, because That's so important to lead with that feeling that you own the company. And as always, the most famous quote is, place yourself on fire with enthusiasm, and people will come for miles to watch you burn. See those flames that you're showing off, right? Moving on here. Use tools and not data. We just talked about that because documentation, again, beats conversation. Now, don't think of documentation as like, because when I first heard this saying, documentation beats conversation, I kept thinking about dictionary documents and like as a programmer, right? This documentation report. No, documentation just means physical brochures, catalogs, what we just showed you, right? That's the documentation that we're showing you. It doesn't have to be scientific studies. We're just saying documentation is all the physical tools, right? And again, it can be called links and prints, but why not do both? So send the electronic copy of the brochure and give the physical copy of the brochure to your people, all right? So always use tools, not data. And of course, share the links and the prints. And the really other key aspect of why you want to do this, and more importantly, teach it to your team, is because of this key word here, is that it's duplicatable. It duplicates, right? Because if your team can learn to share the same data, or the same tools, sorry, not data, but share the same tools, then it's duplicating, because not everyone can be a scientist like David O or as knowledgeable as Alan Ogden, or Jack Davidson, and use their mouth and spit out that data, right? I can't even do that. So I have to rely upon the tool. The tools do the talking for me. And again, more importantly, it can prevent cancellations caused by sunblocks. So sometimes, your prospect might go home and they might run into someone. They could be excited. Remember that story I told you guys about while I was in Trinidad and Tobago? Ralph, who's in the pool with me, with his kid playing volleyball. We got to know him. His leg was black. I even showed his testimonial. They put FOL on. I rubbed it in for him, right? His leg got better. Well, he wanted to show his wife, he was so excited about Fountain of Life, right? But when he went back home that night and I saw him the next day, he's like, Renee, can you help me talk to my wife? Right? Because again, so his wife was essentially kind of being like a sunblock for him. And, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think she just really cared about him and wanted to make sure that he wasn't getting scammed, right? There are a lot of things out there. But when you have a nice brochure, professionally done with the information on it, it helps your prospect deal with those sunblocks. Does that make sense, team? Right? So again, always remember, you don't duplicate, but the systems duplicate. Okay? Again, the sunblocks just mean people who are really negative, like when they, let's say you're in a room and everyone's happy, and someone really negative walks in, it feels like all the lights are really cloudy and dark and the storm's coming. They just it kind of just ruins the whole energy of the whole entire room, right? So now, of course, as you proceed, the whole goal at some point in time is to sell the product, essentially, share the product and sell the product, or to book a tour. So in other words, there's a few things that your candidate, your prospect, is looking at before they usually make a decision. And we're talking about, of course, the business now, right? So we're not talking about you selling product, because that can happen really easily. Testimonials, they want to buy a bottle, right? We're not talking about once you have someone. And the question that I was asked a lot recently was, how do you know when to show your customer the business? So how many of you have that question, right? When do I know when to show someone the business? Let's say they're my customer and they're buying bottles from me. Well, when should I show them the business? Who has that question? See a raise of hands here. Or does everyone already know that answer of when do I show the business, or do I just keep it, do I always show the business? Okay, let's get some more answers here. Let's see what kind of answers we get here. When do you know to show someone the business? All right, when they come back for more bottles, when they show interest, when they want to know, when the customer is ready. All right, well, question, how do you know when the customer is ready? Okay, how do you know when the customer is ready to see a tour? And here's one mistake that I see some people make sometimes, okay? Let's say you're selling bottles to a customer and you're making your great retail profits. Like you're making $30, $40 a bottle. And when you sell 12 bottles, you made like $480. That is amazing. That is awesome because Fountain of Life does sell, right? And okay, so someone says when they're open, just ask them, so how do you know when they're open? I'm just gonna play devil's advocate here, right? Okay. When they ask how they can earn by selling the product, well, what if they never ask you how they can earn by selling the product? So where I'm going with this is what I do is, and here's a really important thing to remember, you don't want to convert a customer into a member, into a partner, if all they are going to do is just sign up, you make that wholesale profit one time, and then all they do after that is buy wholesale from themselves. And they never share the product. They never promote the business. What was the point of that? So you went from making $500 every few months when they bought a family pack, and then you now showed them how to become a member to buy cheaper, right? And then now they're buying it so that they sign up. You make a one-time profit of $300 wholesale profit as an LA, and all they do from there on and going forward is just buy it wholesale, and you get 21.15 CV per bottle. I mean, there was no point in doing that. You would have been better off selling bottles to that customer for the rest of your life. I have customers till today. And the way that I know when to show someone who's my customer the business or not, I just ask a question. Someone says, only if they're serious about doing a business. Well, how do you know if they're going to be serious or not? I want to play the devil's advocate, right? So you got to ask them, is my point. You got to ask them. I simply asked somebody and said, and again, you can ask them questions. If it's right, ask them questions to find out if they're hungry to want to make extra income. Or if you're not sure, just ask them, say, by the way, would you be interested in wanting to join me in sharing this product and making some extra income? If they say, no, not really, I just want to use it for myself, then they should be your customers forever. Does that make sense, team? I think some of you might have made the mistake and converted a customer that was buying from you, and you're making 30, 40 bucks a bottle, and at 12 bottles, you made like $480 every few times they bought that family pack, and you converted them into LA, where you made one-time $300 wholesale profit, and now you're getting really small volume. Like you would have made more money having them as a customer, is my point. So my suggestion is ask questions to find out if they're hungry. And if you're not sure, just ask. And I had a curiosity, would you want to join me in sharing the Fountain of Life and making some extra money or a lot of extra money? No, I'm too busy with my job. Great. Wonderful. Move on. Talk about something else, right? Kill that conversation. Now, mind you, here are some exceptions, right? If you met someone and they outright just asked you, can I buy this cheaper? You can't lie. You can't say no. You can't. You gotta buy from me at retail. You can't do that. Now you're being dishonest, right? You can just tell them yes. There is a way where people can invest money to becoming a partner with the company to access the wholesale pricing to then go and sell at retail. You can say that. So, but I know that some of you have had customers that had never had any interest in doing the business, and then you sign them up, and all they do now is just, buy wholesale from themselves. They're not interested in sharing the product with other people. They're not interested in expanding the business. So all you did was you went from making a lot of retail profits to making a one-time wholesale profit, and now again, the CV that comes when they order those. Again, you would have made a lot more by selling retail. So that's just, again, my suggestion, because I want you to make more money, especially if your customer has no interest in promoting the business. I think I said enough about this. I just had to make sure I really paint that point across. Okay. It's true. Not everyone needs to be in your business. Not everyone is going to be like me, who's going to be hungry like we are. The world needs to have its employees, and the world needs to have their customers. You don't need everyone in the world to join into your team. If you had a few key people who are promoting and doing heavy sales, and they're selling retail, they're making money, and then you're making your CV, that's a perfect world already. Because we need to have customers that buy from our partners. Am I making sense here? Right? So don't be worried if someone doesn't want to join your business. That is okay. Let them be your customer, because we need to have customers. I met another distributor in another company. And sorry for going so long, because we can continue this training, right, next week and next week, because I think it's really important that we talk about this stuff right now. But they told me that in their company, that they don't distinguish between wholesale, like wholesale pricing for members, and then retail pricing for customers. Everyone buys at wholesale. That's horrible, because now, like, the easiest way for the average person to earn income in direct sales is retail profits, right? You share a few stories, talk about the story for a while, it sells. Trying to recruit someone to the business takes more time. You gotta explain the packages. You gotta explain, the monthly shopping credits, the smart buy. You gotta explain the compensation plan later on. You have to explain go for the business tour. It takes more time, right? So, I don't. That makes no sense to me, because in those companies, I'll tell you what, the company makes all the money, and the distributors struggle because no one's making good retail profits. That's the fast, easy money, right? Everyone's relying upon all this CV. So it makes no sense. Again, we need to have a world where not everyone's going to be in your business, because we need to have customers. And that is a good thing. Have as many customers as you want. And, when you have a lot of customers, okay, try to understand what I'm trying to say here is you might have your account, and you might have your spouse account, and maybe your child's account, okay? And you can generate the retail sales from these accounts, yes, and then the volume goes up to you. Okay, so moving along here, I hope you caught what I said. I know John does. Okay, great. I think people got my point there, right? If you didn't catch it, you gotta go and talk to your MiFi, because I'm like being recorded right now. But it happens, right? People have their account, and my wife might sell a lot of products, and the retail sales growth go through her account, but I get the CV. All right, so okay, moving along here though. So the next slide here, and I think we can probably almost kind of end off here though, is the inventory. So what we're saying here is that in MLM, your inventory is the candidate list and not the products. Because when it comes to selling retail, right, then of course your products is like your inventory. But when it comes to having a team, again, we're going to check which one of our customers has interest in having their business and making some extra income, right? And then those people are now our inventory, because in retail sales, it's the products is your inventory. In the team building, the people become your inventory. And so this is often overlooked, and why 98% of the workforce will never get off the ground with MLM. And the reason why, because on average, a participant only sponsors about 2.1 people. And we're going to show you exactly how we calculated that, right? And so can any business survive without prospective clients, without you having a constant list of this candidate list of people who are not just going to be your customers, but also people who want to go and promote the business? As I said before, if you did meet someone who was really pumped about the business, fell in love with the products, got so passionate because they had some incredible story and they want to share it with the world, you definitely want to have them in your business, right? Because now it's not just them buying from stuff on wholesale, they're going to go and explode this business, bring in other people and generate huge amounts of retail profits to themselves, and also have more people that join with them, right? So in order to get there, we have to again have a proper candidate list of how you track, again, not just your potential customers and not just your customers who might express an interest in doing the business, but also the people who want to have a business. All right. So unfortunately, we got, wow, that time flew fast. That came to the end of the hour. And I did want to get a chance to answer some questions I see here. Okay, great question here. So Renee, if you have a partner that is retailing one product, how would you encourage them to try the other products? Okay, so as always, I love to get answers from other people. So team, the question is, if you have a partner that is retailing, so you actually have a business partner, not a customer, you actually have a business partner, another LA or BP, that is just retailing one product, perhaps the Fountain of Life. How would you encourage them to try the other products? Let's see some answers here. Who has some suggestions here on how we can help a partner who's only using, let's say, one product to go and try, not even sell, but try the other products? Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's see here. Maybe it says introduce them by samples. Yeah, we have a sample toothpaste. That's great. Any other thoughts here? Well, what I would do is, if they're a partner, make sure that you get them onto some product trainings. Number one, every Monday evening at 8 p.m., like last night, we had the product crossfire, and they often talk about the other products. And that, if they're a partner, they should be on those calls anyways, because again, they want to build the business, right? They're not just here to buy wholesale. We already talked about that. They're here to go and build the business, right? So they should be on these calls or watch the recordings. I love Kelly's suggestion. Share testimonials about all the products. Actually, here's a testimonial if you want to grab this, because I had no idea about this, but my son Leon has been getting canker sores more recently. even though we give him a lot of fruit like bananas and apples and oranges and like some kind of a berry that have vitamin B12, but he's getting a lot of canker sores and it's really sore. So of course I give him FOL, but I think because you're playing so much, I'm thinking maybe because of so much tennis and the running, the heat is building up, right? Long story short, I decided I knew the power of the microsilver, right? And he has a toothpaste which he uses, but what I did, again, don't do this. This is something that I just thought to do, is I had the microsilver spray and I actually sprayed it into my mouth. And then I just spat it out afterwards. So I didn't swallow it, of course, right? But I just sprayed it into mouth. And actually, Leon did the same thing. Amazingly, in like a day, he had two, one on his tongue and one on the inside. The day, he's like, wow, the front one's gone, the pain's gone. And after the second day, the back one pain is gone. But my whole point, though, right, is when you share these testimonials, they will start to think of, you know, like I think which day was it? But I heard someone sharing about the Sterling lotion, right? They had this really bad rash on them, and like when you hear these testimonials, you want to try these other products, right? So the best thing to do, of course, is to have them join the product crossfire, and of course, you know, share more testimonials of the other products, and more importantly, you know, teach them, hey, you know, you should really become a product of the product. How can you sell this product if you haven't tried it yourself yet? And also tell them, if you can make money selling one product, you don't know if that customer might want to buy the Fairy Sterling or buy the microsilver spray or buy the toothpaste, right? Like, I mean, actually this morning we heard on our Chinese call, I think it was Mary from Hong Kong, says that she recently, with the weather change, she noticed that her teeth is a bit like sore when she drinks hot or cold stuff. And after brushing her teeth with the microsilver toothpaste for about a week now, it no longer has that hot or cold when she drinks her hot drinks or cold drinks. Again, like someone hearing that, especially if you tell your team person, like they might want to try it now. And more importantly, if you're in this as a partner and you're doing sales, why wouldn't you want another potential income stream, right? But you gotta try the product first, all right? And like, for example, the Fairy lip treatment, I gotta tell you folks, because it is getting really, really dry here in Canada. And I have like one of these like I have one in the car, literally, you know, on my side door. I have one there. I have one in my room upstairs because my lips get dry quite easily. And this Fairy lip treatment, I'm telling you, it's just amazing at healing. So just oopsies. Yeah, so I love using this on my lips. And right away, you can feel like that dryness just go away. It even tastes good. Makes you want to lick it off, but don't lick it off, right? Oh, it is so good. My question, how many of you might be a bit more interested now in trying the lip treatment, right? So how many of you might have a curiosity about trying this now, right? That's my whole point of demonstrating it. Is when you share testimonials like that, right? And more importantly, it's an amazing product. It heals lips just amazingly. So, but all in all, we came to the end of today's training. I didn't even get to dive into more of the forensic network training, which is really the meat and potatoes of using the forensic list. And so next week, if I'm able to be on the training again, I'm not sure if our CEO will be back or not, but I can continue on with, of course, your candidate list. And then, of course, after that, really how to use the forensic system. And that will be for next week. But I will pass it on to our CEO, how far we got. But again, thank you so much, everyone, for being on the call tonight. Looking forward to seeing, if you know anyone in Singapore, Malaysia, or Thailand, myself and John Buswood will be going there next week. And please, all the flyers are going out. Invite anyone that you know, ask around, and have those people join our meetings there. And until then, as always, we're one team, one dream. to the billion. Again, Han Mei, thank you so much for being the host. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Wendy, for a very, very practical training. I think that's why we have more and more people on. Since I become the host here, now I realize more and more people on the call.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I didn't know that if you're not the host, you don't see the people, how many people join, right? Yeah, now I know it's a lot more people than like I knew like last year. Okay. Okay, now, do we need to, I think it's an hour already. We don't have more question. The question already answered by Renee. Yeah, I think we'll still have more announcement, but just still, we have few days left. Let me share for the mega promotion. Let me share my screen, okay? Okay, first of all, it's Christmas Day. The date, the last webinar of 2020 is December 20th, and the first webinar is New Year webinar is January 7th. And this one is very important. Build up your team with this, double up your purchase with the mystery box for free. Whenever you place, no matter how you place an order that's over 250, you got an equal value or greater value, mystery gift box for your Christmas. For your family member, this is a very good opportunity to build up your team to get your VIP customer. Actually, usually they place order, they don't get this kind of promotion. But right now, no matter you spend your shopping credit or spend cash, no matter how, you can get this box for Christmas. Another promotion, the mega promotion is November to remember. For the LA, okay, you earn 300 CV for the first LA you sponsored, but if you sponsor second one, you got 300 plus 100. If you plus sponsor the third one, you got 500 CV. You sponsored the fourth one, you got 600 CV from there. If you spend more, each of them, you got 600 CV. That's a big promotion for LAs. And for the new LA, we have very good option, promotion, 3 more extra bottle of Fountain of Life. If you become new LA this month, and also remember, you still get that mystery box that actually you got 2 promotion, combine them together. Remember, don't miss this one. We have one more week, before this promotion ends. Also, Asian Cruise 2023, we have a lot of people I know already qualified for this one. But basically, everybody, as long as you are LA, you are able to get on this cruise. But you better make yourself qualified before the end of January. If you qualify, the company gonna pay for you. If you're LD1, LD2 before January, the last day of January, you get the free cruise. I remember the one who qualified for LD2 after June 30th gonna have Renee, how many volume they have to build up?
I think it was 40,000. I think it was 40,000 ish. 30,000, 40,000.
Yeah. But
40,000, 40,000. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raymond.
Yeah. If you qualify for LD1, you may only need to pay half. Okay. Anyway, you have everybody have an opportunity to get on to this cruise, to experience the lifestyle, also get inspired by the pros and all the members from our company, from our families. Scan this QR code, you will get to see all the details about this cruise. Okay, remember the last day okay, let me read this one. Must meet LD2 qualification by January 30th. Okay, that's must meet means qualified for the free cruise. Free cruise, but you can get on, if you pay yourself. Okay. Another thing, the world tour is happened already in Trinidad, Tobago, Ottawa, Minnesota, but we still have Kenya tour happening December 2nd and 5th. So you invite your people to get inspired by the tour, by the leaders, and got trained by the pros. So I don't know why the slide wasn't refreshed, but I heard the coming Saturday gonna be Henry gonna give us the training on. I remember he told me the fast start track on the Royal Way. You know what that? We don't have that. I don't have that slide. Okay, and next Monday. Okay, let's just Sunday is who? I have no idea about that one yet. Renee, do you know that?
Yeah, you know what? There's usually there's an email that goes out with all of the trainers. Actually, I just sent you some more flyers of myself being in Taiwan, Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore. And however, until then, as always, folks, please stay tuned to all of your WhatsApp group chats and also the email from the company, because we will notify you. Again, you'll see who's going to be training this coming Saturday as well too. I haven't seen that yet myself, but I'm sure it's going to be there somewhere in our emails.
Yeah. We will have that one. Stay tuned and watch the news from the WhatsApp group, or stay contacted with your upliner, your leaders. They will know. They will tell you what's gonna happen in this coming Sunday. Who's on the cocktail, leadership. Okay. See everybody next week. See everybody next week.
Thank you. Okay, we're one team, one dream.
Yeah,
to the billion. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Night.
Good night.
Night. Good evening. Good morning.